Pawn Stars guest brings a rare evidence from JFK assassination, but Rick Harrison backed out for over a decade. Pawn Stars has captivated audiences with its unique blend of history, negotiation, and entertainment. Each episode follows the team at the world-famous gold and silver pawn shop in Las Vegas as they evaluate and negotiate over an eclectic mix of items brought in by members of the public, from vintage guitars to antique firearms, rare coins, and even pieces of Hollywood memorabilia. But few episodes have captured the attention of viewers and historians, quite like the one in which a guest arrived claiming to possess a rare piece of evidence from one of the most controversial events in American history: the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The item: a bloodstained shirt reportedly worn by Dallas police officer J.D. Tippit on November 22, 1963, the same day President Kennedy was shot in Dealey Plaza. According to the official narrative, Tippit was killed just 45 minutes after the assassination by Lee Harvey Oswald, who was later apprehended inside the Texas Theater. What followed was an emotionally charged and historically significant moment on Pawn Stars, culminating in a shocking twist. Rick Harrison, known for his business acumen and willingness to take risks, unexpectedly backed out of the deal. The guest, whose identity remains largely protected due to the sensitive nature of the item, walked into the pawn shop carrying what appeared to be an ordinary manila envelope. Inside was a folded, aged white shirt bearing visible dark stains. The guest claimed it had belonged to his late father, who was a Dallas police officer at the time of the assassination. According to the story, the shirt was worn by the guest's father during the investigation that followed the shooting of Officer Tippit. He said that when officers entered the movie theater where Oswald was hiding, they found the shirt wrapped around something or someone inside a locker. It was later returned to his father, who kept it in storage until his death. While the shirt itself was not directly tied to Oswald or Tippit, the guest believed it might have been used to wrap the infamous revolver used in Tippit's murder, making it a potentially valuable historical artifact linked to the broader JFK assassination case. Rick, Chumlee, and Corey listened intently as the guest recounted the story, clearly aware of the gravity of what they were being shown. This wasn't just another collectible, it was a physical remnant of one of the darkest days in American history. From the outset, the team approached the item with a healthy dose of skepticism. Authenticating any piece of clothing from the early 1960s is difficult, especially one with such a dramatic backstory. Without provenance or documentation, there was no way to verify the shirt's origins definitively. Rick asked standard questions. "Do you have any paperwork showing this actually came from that event?" The guest admitted he didn't. "Just my dad's word and what I've read online." That admission immediately raised red flags. Rick, who has seen countless fake artifacts come through the shop, knows how easy it is for people to attach grandiose stories to old items. Still, the emotional weight of the situation couldn't be ignored. Chumlee, usually the comic relief of the group, was unusually quiet. Even he seemed moved by the idea that they were handling something connected to such a pivotal moment in history. Corey, ever the researcher, began looking up details about Tippit's murder and the timeline of events following the assassination. He confirmed that Tippit was indeed shot and killed in Oak Cliff, Dallas, just minutes after Kennedy was shot in Dealey Plaza. Oswald fled the scene and was later arrested at the Texas Theatria location, not far from where the shirt allegedly originated. Still, the question remained: was this shirt really involved in those events? In true Pawn Stars fashion, the team decided to call in experts to help authenticate the item. They reached out to a forensic specialist who could test the stains for blood type and age, and also contacted a historian specializing in Cold War-era crimes and conspiracy theories. The forensic analysis revealed that the stains were In fact, human blood type B, which matched neither Oswald nor Tippit. However, without DNA testing, which would be costly and invasive, there was no way to determine whose blood it truly was. The historian, while intrigued, expressed doubt that the shirt had any real connection to the case. He explained that many items surface over the years claiming ties to the assassination, but very few hold up under scrutiny. Even so, the potential historical value was undeniable. If the shirt had been anywhere near the Texas Theater on that fateful day, it could still be considered a rare relic of the era. As the team gathered to make a final decision, Rick took a deep breath and looked at the shirt one last time. "I fought some crazy stuff in my life," he said. "I fought Nazi memorabilia, weapons from every war, even weird stuff like shrunken heads. But this feels different." He explained that while the shirt might be authentic, he didn't want to profit from something so closely tied to violence and tragedy. He also feared backlash from collectors or the public if the item turned out to be fake or worse, if it was real and sparked controversy. "I don't want this in my shop," Rick concluded. "It doesn't feel right." The room fell silent. Corey looked surprised. Chumley nodded solemnly. The guest, visibly disappointed, packed the shirt back into the envelope and prepared to leave. Rick offered him a handshake and said, "You've got a great story. And whether it's true or not, you're part of history now." Rick Harrison's decision baffled many fans when the episode aired. After all, he's built his reputation on acquiring rare and unusual items, often pushing the boundaries of what others might consider too controversial or macabre. Rick has always maintained that while he respects history, he also wants to avoid profiting off pain and suffering. The JFK assassination is still a deeply emotional topic for many Americans, and the death of Officer Tippit is a tragic reminder of the chaos that unfolded that day. By choosing not to buy the shirt, Rick may have been acknowledging the sensitivity of the subject and opting for restraint, rather than capitalizing on a national tragedy. Without clear documentation or chain of custody, the shirt's authenticity was always going to be questionable. Even if the blood was real, there was no definitive link between the shirt and the actual events in Dallas. Rick, who prides himself on making smart deals, likely saw the risk involved not only financially, but also reputationally. If the item turned out to be fake or misrepresented, it could damage the credibility of the show and the shop. Perhaps more than anything, the emotional weight of the moment played a role in Rick's decision. Standing face-to-face with a piece of history that could be connected to two violent deaths, one of a president, one of a police officer, was enough to give anyone pause. Rick, despite his tough exterior, has shown moments of empathy throughout the series. This may have been one of those rare times when sentimentality outweighed financial opportunity. Rick's refusal to purchase the shirt raises an important question about the commodification of history. As time passes, more and more artifacts from major historical events surface, often accompanied by wild claims and high price tags. Should these items be treated as collectibles? Or should they be preserved in museums or private collections dedicated to education and remembrance? The line between preservation and exploitation is thin. While Pawn Stars has helped bring awareness to obscure historical objects, it has also faced criticism for turning relics into commodities. In this instance, Rick's decision may have set a precedent for future episodes, showing that not everything can or should be bought and sold, especially when dealing with sensitive historical events. After leaving the pawn shop, the guest took the shirt with him, unsure of what to do next. Some reports suggest he later tried to sell it online, though no verified transactions have surfaced. Others believe the shirt may still be in private hands, waiting for the right buyer or museum willing to accept it as part of a larger collection. Regardless of its final destination, the shirt will forever remain a mystery and object, caught between history, myth, and memory. Mick Foley's appearance on Pawn Stars showed how pop culture icons can engage with mainstream media in meaningful ways. But the episode featuring the alleged JFK assassination-related shirt proved that some stories go beyond entertainment. They touch the core of who we are as a society. Rick Harrison's decision to walk away from the deal may have cost him a rare find, but it also demonstrated a level of respect and restraint rarely seen in reality television. In a world where everything seems up for sale, his choice reminded viewers that some things are simply too sacred to trade. The shirt may never be proven authentic. It may fade into obscurity, lost among the countless other conspiracy-laden relics that claim ties to the JFK assassination. But for one unforgettable moment on Pawn Stars, it stood as a haunting reminder of a day that changed America.